interesting question came up while playing games with my family the other night. How many years before full self-driving vehicles are commonplace? At first, I thought that was an easy question to answer, but the more I thought about it, the harder it became. For me, full self-driving already feels commonplace. I use it almost every day on my daily drives around the Quad Cities, and it's become such a normal part of my daily routine that I barely even think about it anymore. But maybe that's exactly the problem. Sometimes you don't realize how much technology has changed your life until it's suddenly gone. And that's exactly what happened when we flew to Maui here in beautiful Hawaii. After landing, we headed over to the Enterprise rental lot. The agent told us we could pick any of the mid-sized SUVs in the garage. There were a few choices: a Ford Escape, a Subaru Forester, and a Mazda that I wasn't even familiar with. Having owned several Fords before owning my own Tesla Model 3, I decided to try something completely different, and we grabbed the Subaru. We loaded up our luggage, piled in, and within a few minutes, I felt like we had traveled back in time. Suddenly, I had to use both brake pedals and gas pedal again. No regenerative braking, no one-pedal driving, no simply lifting my foot and letting the car smoothly roll to a slow down on its own. It sounds like a small thing until you've actually spent years driving without thinking about it. Then I looked at the steering wheel. Buttons everywhere, lane keep assist, adaptive cruise control, audio controls, even settings controls. I wasn't even sure what these settings were for. Modern vehicles are loaded with technology, but compared to Tesla's minimalist approach, it felt surprisingly complicated. To be fair, Maui isn't exactly the place where you'd actually use those systems anyway, it feels. The roads twist through mountains, wind through cliffs, and snake through dense tropical forests. Much of the driving here demands your full attention, especially if you're driving the famous road to Hana. Now, over the next several days, we drove all over the island. The road to Hana, Ka'anapali, the northeast coastline, the southwest coastline to this beach today here at Malakina. And every day, back to our Airbnb in Kihei. After each day, I noticed something unexpected. I was tired. Not vacation tired, but driving tired. The kind of tired you get after spending hours making thousands of tiny little decisions behind the wheel. Maintaining speed, centering in the lane, watching for traffic, monitoring curves, managing braking. The things most drivers do every day. And the things I had slowly stopped doing as often because FSD had become part of my everyday life. That is probably the biggest realization of this trip. Not that I missed FSD, but that I had forgotten how much work driving actually is. Every time I saw a Tesla on the island, I found myself wondering this one thing. Could they even use full self-driving here? I saw Model 3s, Model Ys, X's, and a surprising number of cybertrucks. But Maui presents some unique challenges. Many roads have limited lane markings, some sections are extremely narrow, and others are lined with dense vegetation. The road to Hana, with its over 600 curves and dozens of one-lane bridges, even if FSD were available, I suspect there are many places where a human would still need to take over. And honestly, that's okay. Because one thing this trip reminded me of is that there are still drives where the journey itself is part of the experience. Another thing I noticed was how much I missed Tesla's software. The Subaru's infotainment system wasn't terrible, but it definitely felt dated. we struggled to just get connected so that we could listen to the Shaka Guide audio tour, the audio tour, during our drive to Hana. Eventually, we got it all working through Bluetooth, but it took much longer than expected. Now, in my Tesla, I rarely even think about connectivity anymore. The car is already connected, music is already there, navigation is already there, and everything just works. And then there are all the entertainment options in a Tesla like Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, Netflix, Hulu, and even games. The list keeps growing every single year. Tesla's system feels more like a rolling computer than a traditional car. Its infotainment system is unmatched. And while everyone talks about acceleration and self-driving, I think the software experience is one of the most underrated parts of Tesla ownership. Then there were the charging ports. The Subaru had a single USB port. It was a USB-A, and with a family of 4, that wasn't gonna cut it. We ended up stopping to buy a 12-volt plug just to keep everybody's devices powered. It's one of those little inconveniences that reminds you how quickly expectations change. Now, a few years ago, that would have never bothered me. But today, it stood out immediately. Now, Tesla isn't perfect. The wireless charging ports still make my phone hotter than you'd want, and there are things I'd change. There will always be things to change, but spending a week away from my Tesla gave me a new appreciation for everything it does well. Which brings me back to my original question. How many years before full self-driving vehicles become commonplace? A week ago, I probably would have said, we're already there. Now, after driving thousands of miles worth of Maui roads without it, I think the answer is a little more complicated. For most people, driving is still exactly what it has always been. You steer, you brake, you accelerate, you stay focused every second you're behind the wheel. But for Tesla owners who regularly use full self-driving, something has already changed. Not because the technology is perfect, not because it does everything and drives everywhere, but because it has quietly altered what driving actually feels like. And maybe that's the answer. Full self-driving won't become commonplace when every car can drive itself. It will become commonplace when people stop noticing it's even there. Just like I did before arriving at Maui. And it wasn't until I spent a week without it that I realized how much it had already become part of my everyday life. Now, some final thoughts and questions I have. The road to Hana's 600 plus curves and 1-lane bridges could be a real world challenge for autonomous vehicles. I didn't remember how exhausting vacation driving could actually be while sightseeing. The difference between driving and supervising a drive is staggering. Now, would I rent a Tesla the next time I'm on vacation? Without a doubt. Is FSD even available on Maui? And how well would it perform here? Let me know in the comments below if you've rented or own a Tesla here in Maui and have done the road to Hana. I'd like to see what your thoughts are. Also, if you're gonna go on vacation without Tesla and FSD, did it change how you felt about your car when you got home? That's it, guys. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, please comment, like, and maybe even subscribe. And if you're looking to buy a Tesla, you can go to qcteslaguy.com. At the top of the page, you can click the referral button, and that will get you 3 free months of full self-driving when you buy or lease a new Tesla. And until next time, use technology to drive safe so that you can live life.
And we're live.
It's so bright. My eyes are watering.
Keep your hat down lower.
I think I got like sunscreen in my eyes. Okay.